I just figured out a way to make a little bot with no robot stuff. And I'm so excited for us to make that together today.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really, really fun. What I'll do while we're kind of getting settled, you will need the following supplies for us to make our project today. So I'll focus that so you can actually see it a little better. Doop, doop, doop. There we go. So I'll let that zoom back out. But those are our supplies there. So when it zooms back out, you can start to grab those. This project is super easy to make. So it just needs a couple of small boxes. I used, if I turn this over, I can show you, I used an English breakfast tea box and a Toast 'em Pop-Ups box, which is the Dollar Tree version of Pop-Tarts. So just a couple small boxes like that will be perfect. Mac and cheese boxes are great, stuff like that. Small boxes, or if you've got some scraps of boxes, yeah, I see some Belvita, that's the stuff, yes. If you've got some like mac and cheese boxes, those will be great, or just other little scraps of boxes, that'll work.
You don't need to.
Yeah, you'll need a paper towel tube like this, like a long paper towel tube like that. Or I also found this one. This was in my, this like skinny, really sturdy one was in my aluminum foil box. So that's a good one. But you can take a look at those. The rest of those are pretty straightforward. That looks like a great box, that Belvita one. Yeah, that looks great. But let's go ahead and start the class. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody for now so that we can get let me scooch that. So that we can get some classroom norms down for the day. All right, so let me scooch that off to the side. So first of all, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to BirdBrain class. We are going to be making fun stuff and then turning it into robots. And even if you don't have robot stuff at home, that's totally okay because we are going to get a chance to program the robots that I have here in my class. And I wonder if you can spy with your little eyes some of the robots that are behind me and if you can start to wonder what robots you will get to program later on today. All right, so just as a quick introduction, in case I didn't say it before, my name's Kelsey. I'll be your teacher today. I'm very excited that you're here. Hi. And I'm calling you in just a second, Sigrid. And also, for those of you that are tuning in on Facebook, welcome. You can make right along with us if you'd like, if you are tuning in from Facebook. So a couple of quick classroom norms for how we do things here in our Zoom school, our school via Zoom. In school, show me what you do when you have a question or if you want to say something. Show me what you do with your arm when you have a question or something. Yeah, you raise your hand. But when we are doing class on Zoom, I have a hard time seeing that. So the way that we're going to raise our hand today in class is I want you to stick your hand out right in front of your camera and wiggle it back and forth like this. Yeah, go blah, 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 blah. Exactly, just like that. So that's how you're going to raise your hand in Zoom school, okay? Also, if you really like something that someone else does, if we were just in regular school, you could say, hey, Aaron, I really like your robot. But in Zoom, a lot of times we're muted. So if you want to show us how you feel about something, you have to show us. So how could you show somebody that you like something that they make? What would you do with your face or your body? Or, yeah, you could do a thumbs up. You could do a awesome. You could do these things. You could make a little heart, something like that. How could you show that you are, oh, I like that one. This one is applause in sign language, so you could do that. If you really like it, you could do a round of applause, something like that. Or if we're going to be making stuff today, and it's possible when you're trying something new that you might get frustrated. So show me what your frustrated face looks like. Can everybody demonstrate their frustrated face for me? That's a good one. Sigurds look like this. Yeah. Don't hurt yourself though. Don't hurt yourself. And if you're really frustrated, you might even have to just, you know what? Walk out for a second, and that's okay too. Because we'll be here when you come back. Just don't close down your Zoom window, because if you close it down, you can't come back in. We put a bunch of safety features in place for class today. Who we have here is who we're going to have for class, so nobody else is allowed into our Zoom room. And just so you and everybody knows, we're only broadcasting my video feed, so everybody can only see me. Like I said, you'll probably be muted for a lot of the time. We'll mute you guys. But we've made it so that you can unmute yourself at any time. So let's practice that just for a moment. I want you to tell me what your name is, just your first name, and also What is your quarantine comfort food? Meaning, what kinds of snacks have you been snacking on while you've been stuck at home? Whoever wants to unmute themselves, you have the ability to do that. You can go in the lower left-hand corner. Say your name and what your quarantine comfort food is.
My comfort food is Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its. I love that. What's your name? Just your first name.
Antonio.
Say it again.
Antonio.
Antonio. Thanks, Antonio. Antonio is big on the Cheez-Its train. What about, is that your brother, Antonio?
Yeah.
What is your name, brother?
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo. What's your quarantine comfort food, Lorenzo?
Gummies.
Ooh, what kind? Like strawberry? Are we talking gummy bears? Any kind of gummies. You're like, I'm not picky. It's quarantine time, Kelsey. Get with the program. Great. Who else wants to share their quarantine comfort food and their name? Yeah, go ahead. In the white shirt.
Garrett.
Garrett. Hi, Garrett. And what have you been snacking on a lot lately, Garrett?
Fruit snacks.
Fruit snacks. Yeah, you and Lorenzo are going to be friends, I can tell. Totally. Yeah. How about you, Sigrid? What's been your quarantine comfort food?
Probably like these small thin breadsticks.
Yeah? Is it the crunch that gets you? Is that what you're digging about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. How about Regina or Becky? Would either of you guys like to share your quarantine comfort food? You can. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Way too many chocolate-covered raisins.
Chocolate-covered raisins. That is an excellent choice, Regina. I really dig that. Let me go over to Becky really quick. Do you want to share yours, Becky?
I'll show you my shirt.
Oh, nice. I love your NASA shirt, Regina. That's amazing.
There's a secret as a NASA.
I'm going to go over to Becky really quick. Do you have a snack?
Yeah, chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa. Old standby. Love it. Yeah, Sigrid has a question. What's your question, Sigrid? Oh, unmute yourself, though. There you go.
Can I look at the materials again?
Yes, well, that's exactly what we're going to do right now. This is perfect. That was the perfect segue. You're my segue queen. All right, so
I also have one. Sure.
gotcha. So we're gonna mute everybody again. But like I said, if you have a question, you know how to raise your hand, and you also know how to unmute yourself as well. All right, great. So taking a look at our supplies, you guys see the supplies written out there, a couple of small boxes, a paper towel roll or something similar to that, so something cardboard and tubey and long. A pencil. Pencils are great for this, especially the ones that have those little ridges, but really anything pokey. So it could be a pencil, it could be a chopstick, which is my new favorite building material this week. So if you've got a chopstick handy, you could do that. You will need some scissors or a blade. And if you are a kid and if you are using a blade, make sure that you have permission to use that. And if you have a blade, you probably also want a cutting mat so that when you are cutting things, you don't accidentally cut through them and cut your dining room table, because both you and me will be in trouble, and that's not cool. So you might want some tape. You don't actually need tape, but you might want tape and a marker. So as we're looking at those supplies, I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I want to show you guys the one that I made so you can start to understand how this guy is built. All right, so here's my little bot without the bot part, without the robot. I'll put my supplies list off to the side. There we go, and I'll zoom in just a skosh. There we go. So here's my little bot. So you can see where that paper towel tube comes in. That paper towel tube is going all the way through my body. I've got a hole on the top and the bottom. We're going to build this together, but I just want to give you kind of an overview. So that's how the head is turning side to side, and then the head is going up and down. Can you guys see inside there and see where my pencil goes through the paper towel tube? And it goes through the head as well. So the head is kind of, the holes in the sides of the head are small enough that it's like gripping the pencil. You could tape that on as well. But I'm actually going to take this apart just to show you how easy it is to put together. So I'm going to take the pencil out, and now the head is free, and that can come off. So pencil, head, neck, and body. Those are the only things that you need to make a robot or a puppet that can nod its head and shake its head. So let's start, shall we? Give me a thumbs up if you are ready to build. Yeah, lots of thumbs. I like your thumbs. They're my favorite ones. Okay, so I have got 2 little boxes right here. These boxes are little 3x3x3 boxes. And I just got these because they're nice and blank. They're a little bit less distracting than, say, a mac and cheese box. I'm not here to make anybody extra hungry. You know what I mean? All right. Plus, we're not sponsored. If we get sponsored, then I'll use a mac and cheese box. Okay, so you've got your box. Go ahead and put your box together if it's not together yet. So this is going to be your body, okay? So I'm going to get some tape, and I'm going to tape this body box together. So if it's not together yet, put it together. You may want to even reinforce it with a little bit of tape if you've got it, because that can just make your body a little bit stronger. So I'm taping it down. Taping it down. And we're going to kind of make the basic model here today. But I hope, my greatest hope is that you guys will like finish it out and make it awesome and make improvements and decorate it after we're done and post about it on Twitter. All right. So now is when you need your paper towel tube. And so you're going to figure out what's going to be the top and what's going to be the bottom. So I'd like tape together the flaps here, but I want a nice smooth side to be my top and bottom. So I'm going to make this the top. I'm going to label this. I'm going to call this body. You don't need to label it, but this is just for you guys to know what I'm doing here. So this is the body and this is the top. And now I'm going to put my paper towel tube on there, put it right in the middle as much as I can, and trace around it with my marker. Because this is where we're going to cut out the hole for the neck. All right, there we go. So on the top of the body, trace it out. And if I flip it over, this is the body, body bottom. I'm also going to trace out my paper towel tube on the bottom as close to the center as I can get it. That looks pretty good. And this is when you're going to cut it out. So you can use your scissors or you can use your blade if you've got one. I'm going to use my blade. But you're going to cut out that circle. So if you've got a blade, that becomes pretty easy. I'm just going to start putting my blade in and cutting like so. I'm going to cut one out with a blade, and then I'm going to cut one out with some scissors so we can see some ways that that might be possible. So cut a hole out of the top, cut a hole out of the bottom. So you guys saw that my quarantine comfort food is partially Pop-Tarts, but it's also partially cheese sticks. That's my other quarantine comfort food. I figure that has protein, like that's, you know, my mom wouldn't be mad. Lorenzo approves. He says he likes my cheese sticks idea. Anybody else? Give me a thumbs up if you like cheese sticks as well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, who is it? Antonio's like, no, he's not on the cheese stick train. He's an anti-cheese stick guy. Okay, so I cut one circle at the top, and I'm going to cut another circle out the bottom. And this time I'm going to try and use my scissors. This gets a little trickier. You'll want to be really careful. I don't know if that's super safe, actually, but some people probably just have scissors. What do you think, Matt? Matt is here, and Matt is an expert maker, and he always has good ideas. If I've just got scissors, Matt, how can I cut out my circle?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
I would actually recommend, if you have a very solid box like that,
Mm-hmm.
cutting the whole box open.
Ah.
And then do it flat, and then taping the box back together.
Okay, that's a good idea.
If you have a thinner box, you might be able to make a little...
Just kind of make a hole.
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
a clipboard, you might be able to just make a little hole.
So if you've got a box like this, a thin box like this that you're trying to cut a hole in, let's say I've got my circle here. Now you can kind of see it on camera. If you've got a thinner box like that, you may be able to just kind of hold the scissors like you should, because they're safe that way. And you might be able to kind of poke a hole in the box. Maybe. There we go. So you can kind of cut a hole and then cut like this, like so.
Sure. Maybe another method.
I've got another idea for you too.
Thinking out loud here.
Oh yeah. Another idea might be to use a, I think Matt's getting his screwdriver.
Yeah.
fancy screwdriver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So you may want to help you poke a hole in your box, you may want to put like a rag inside or underneath the box like this, and you can use a screwdriver inside. Yeah, that's a better idea. You can use a rag. Don't use your mom's favorite towels. Second favorite towels. Always remember, mom's second favorite towels. Okay, so this is a good way to poke a hole as well, to use a screwdriver. You can do like that. You can kind of poke some holes out, and that might be easier to cut. So I am going to use my blade to cut the bottom hole out of my box, though, because I do have a blade. Yeah, Sigurd has a question. Go ahead and unmute, Sigurd.
Do we need to cut holes in both sides of one box or one hole in each box?
Nope, both sides of the same box. So this is my body box. You've got a body box and you've got a head box. So you should cut holes in opposite sides of the body box, because that is what your paper towel tube, that is going to end up being the neck, is going to go through. There we go. Put my blade away so it's nice and safe. That was a good question. Yeah. All right, so now I've got a hole all the way through. So you can test and see if your paper towel tube goes through your box. There we go. Mine goes through. That's what we're going for. We're going for a box that can rotate around a paper towel tube, because this is what's going to turn the head of our little bot here. And if you've got that part done, you can go ahead and tape up the sides. I see, Regina, do you have one side still open? Oh, okay, no, it's a nice flat body. Cute. I dig it. Looks good. Who else has a hole? Looks like Becky has a hole cut and she's got her thing in there. Looks great. Ooh, Aaron and Garrett, you guys thought up something great. Will you unmute yourselves and describe what you did? So it looks like you did not have a paper towel tube. What did you use instead?
I found a. Go ahead. Fine.
Mommy found a water bottle.
She found a water bottle like this, right? So they found something else that was long and skinny, and they're making that their neck. That is some really fine engineering, because you know what engineering is? Engineering is just problem solving. Engineering is trying something and going, nope, that didn't work. We better try again. And doing that over and over and over again until all the things work in a row. That's what engineering is. So Aaron and Garrett, really nice engineering. That's smart. So if you also are building at home and you don't have a paper towel tube or something long and skinny, you can grab a water bottle, especially if it's empty. That'd be preferable. And squish it up, and you can put that through. Cool. All right. So give me a thumbs up if you are done. If you have gotten your, and you can hold it up and show us too. If you've gotten your, not quite. Okay, we've got a couple friends still cutting out holes, so we're going to let them have a chance to finish. I got one of these. They're like, we're almost there. We're almost there. All right. I'm going to put some other things off to the side here. So as we're making our little bot, if I put my original one back together a little bit, as you guys are finishing cutting your holes, here's my original one. This is the step that we just did. You might start decorating the body if you know what you want it to look like while we're waiting for a couple friends to finish. All right, I'm going to insert the pencil through the side of the head, through the paper towel tube. Dirt, 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 dirt. Dirt, dirt. Oh, yeah, Matt. Thanks, Matt. Matt really likes what I did to decorate mine because the boxes were really busy.
Body's upside down, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, the body's upside down. We should turn that. Bow tie's a little low down there, isn't it? Great. Okay, there's right side up. Bow ties go on the top. Okay, so Matt was commenting that to decorate mine, because the boxes were really busy, you might have like construction paper to cover yours. We only have green construction paper here. we have to find some other colors somewhere. So what I did was I used masking tape to cover it, and then that made a nice sort of almost white surface for me to draw on. So if you're looking for ideas for how to decorate yours, maybe you just draw straight on the box, maybe you cover it in some paper, maybe you like that it's wearing a Pop-Tart sweatshirt or something. That's fine too. But I covered mine in tape and then was able to draw on that. All right, Lorenzo and Antonio, give me a thumbs up. You guys got holes in your boxes? Yeah, looking good. Hey, you guys are tea drinkers too. That's great. I feel seen. I feel loved. Okay, great. Secret's like, me too. I drink tea. That's great. Okay, so we've got a hole in the bottom and the top of our body, and this part is going to be the neck. So now we need to focus on the head. So here's my head of my box, and I'm going to go ahead and tape that together as well because we need it to be a box. But the bottom of your box, whatever is the bottom of your box, you should cut that off or cut that out. My tea box was great for that because it had like a flap that came off really easy, if you can see inside. So I'm gonna cut all the flaps off of one side of my box. That's how I'm gonna make the bottom open. All right. So I'm gonna cut off, I'm gonna cut off all 4 flaps that are gonna be the bottom of my box. So it doesn't really matter what's the top, the bottom, the side, except that the bottom has to be open, all the way open. There we go. Now I've got these nice little flaps that I'm going to set off to the side, these little box flaps. I may want to use those for decorating later. Oh no, we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to label this one as well. This is going to be the head. This is going to be the right side. This is going to be the bottom. Down there. This is going to be the top. Up there. And then this is going to be the left side. Just so you guys kind of know what you're looking at as I tape things together. So this will be like the face. In the front here. All right. What's that? Oh, yeah. Do you want to unmute, Regina?
Yes, I just want to make sure before I keep cutting, I cut one flap off. I'm cutting the other 3 off as well.
Exactly. Yep. Cut all 3 flaps off so that the bottom of your box is totally open.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Great question. All right. And I'm going to tape the head shut because there's this saying, I don't know if you guys have ever heard it, you should have an open mind, but don't keep your mind so open or your brains will fall out. You know, be critical of the information that you hear in the world. Evaluate as you go. My mom always used to tell me that. Keep an open mind, but not so open your brains fall out. Thanks, Mom. Mom advice. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now it's the best advice. All right. So I'll let everybody have a chance to catch up and I'll relabel my things. So you'll decide what the face of your box is. I've decided my face will be called face. Very original. This is going to be the left side. This is going to be the right side over here. There's the top and there's the bottom. And you'll want to make sure the bottom is totally open to the wind, the air. It might not make it through. Yeah, I see that some people are using boxes that are a little bit bigger than mine, which is totally fine. But when you're choosing what side the face will go through, you need it to be something that is small enough for a pencil to make it out either side.
Unless you could think of something long.
Unless you've got something that's longer than that box. Yeah, that's great. Antonio and Lorenzo, yeah, that'll fit through, Lorenzo. That's great. So you want something long and skinny that'll fit through that box. So if you've got a box like where'd my mac and cheese go? There it is. If you've got a box like your mac and cheese box, it may be that this is the face. Like it may be a long skinny face, right? It may look silly, but it's supposed to. It's a puppet. So my pencil actually fits through this dimension and this one, but I wouldn't want to make this the face of my box because my pencil doesn't go all the way through, right? Yeah, that looks good. Is that a knitting needle secret? No, is that a skewer? Like a cooking skewer?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have a lot of those.
You have a lot of cooking skewers. Do you guys barbecue a lot in the summertime?
No, not really.
Well, you
I
could.
just bought them at a store for some reason.
Hey, it's good to have random stuff at your house because it makes it so that you can make cool, weird robots. Okay. All right. So, how's everybody doing? If you've got a head that has an open bottom on it there, give me a thumbs up. Oh, that Pop-Tart box is great, Aaron and Garrett. That's great. Yes, great. So you've decided what the face is going to be. So then on the right side and the left side, right through the middle, we're going to poke a hole on either side of its head, kind of like an ear hole. And you'll want to use if you've got a blade, you'll want to use your blade to do that. Or if you don't have a blade, do you remember what we did to poke a hole before with a screwdriver? You could do that with a screwdriver or with a pencil. If you get like a little rag like this, you can put it inside so that you don't accidentally collapse your box. If I go over here to the left side, I can position the tip of my screwdriver right where I want it, and then pop. That makes a nice hole there. And I might want to move it around a little bit because I got to fit my pencil through there, and that's a little small. I may make it bigger by putting my scissors in there and just making it a little, yeah. That's about pencil sized. All right, so let's see if it worked. I'm going to poke that. I'm going to use my scissors to poke that X that I made with my blade through a little bit too. Let's see if it worked. What you want it to do, you want your pencil to go through both sides like that, and you want it to really grip on to the pencil. Yeah, that looks great. So if you move the pencil, your box should move with it. Like if the holes are too big, then the box may spin around it, and there's a way to fix that. But ideally, you want it to fit so that as you spin the pencil with your fingers, exactly, that looks great, Lorenzo and Antonio, that's great. Okay, so now that we've got that poked, that's awesome, but we need to take the pencil out. That's just kind of a placeholder there, all right? So once you've gotten it and you know it works through, take it out, because now really the second to last step here is, all right, here's my body, here's the neck. I've got to poke a hole through this paper towel tube as well. So you don't want to poke it way up near the top because it could come through. You don't want it to go too far down because then it'll kind of run into the top of your box. You want to make sure that if I was going to measure this next to it here, if this is how far in my paper towel tube would go, I'd want to scooch it down a little bit and then make my hole there. So I'm going to make a hole out here. On either side, I'm just going to kind of draw a line to help that hole. Yeah, so I'm going to make holes on opposite sides. So I've got a hole on one side and a hole on the other side. So you can use our blade method if you want to cut a little X. You can use our screwdriver method, whatever you've got. But you're going to make a little incision. And this one, this one can be a little bit bigger, because this one you want your pencil, super careful with my blade, slow and steady wins the race. You want to be super careful with your blade at all times, but this hole you can make a little bit bigger, so I'm going to use my screwdriver to make that, maybe my scissors, yeah, because the pencil can spin freely in this hole. That's what you want the pencil to do in here. You want the pencil to be able to spin freely through there. So if I put it in there, did I make my holes right? Let's see. Nope, I gotta make that hole a little bit bigger. That's what I said, engineering. Gonna make my hole just a skosh bigger to let my pencil fit through. There we go. Okay, so now my pencil can spin. Great. All right. Yeah, I see you put yours together, Regina. Perfect. So once you've got that going, you put it through one side of the head. One. You put your paper towel tube in there. Put it through the. I can take it out of the body to do this. Put it through the head, the toilet paper tube, out the other side, and then out the other side. Aha! And now you've got a head that can swivel back and forth. And once you've got a head that can swivel back and forth, and you put it through the body, then you have a robot that can turn its head and look up and down. If you've got yours, show it off. Hold it up to the camera. I'd love to see it. Yeah, that looks great, Becky. Yep. So you can just hold when you're puppeting it, you can just hold the body, and then you can control the turn of the head up and down with that pencil, and you can control it back and forth. That looks great, Garrett. Nice job. Yes. Okay, let me go around and spotlight some people. I'm going to come spotlight Garrett. Actually, Matt, can you help out?
Yep, got it.
Thanks. So Matt's going to come around and spotlight people. Oh, I see there's a question up with Lorenzo and Antonio. What's your question? You can unmute yourselves and ask it. Can you unmute yourselves? We can do it too. Oh, you got to do it actually. There we go.
Okay, he's able to turn the robot,
Uh-huh.
but not swivel it up and down.
Is your pencil like moving inside of the head? Like when your pencil or your skewer, is it spinning inside of see how my pencil, yeah. So there's a fix for that. Yeah, so when you spin your skewer, it's not spinning the head. Let me show you how to fix it. This will require a little bit of tape. Will you come spotlight me again, Matt? Okay, so if I'm gonna make mine have the same problem you guys are having, which is when you spin your pencil, it's not spinning the head. When you're spinning your fingers like that, it's not spinning the head. That's because my pencil is kind of big, right? And it's got these nice ridges on it, but the skewer you guys are using is pretty small and just doesn't have ridges. So the way you can fix that is grab a piece of tape and you can put some tape along the head right up to the base of the pencil and then go straight up like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So it's going to the tape is going to kind of sandwich my pencil or my skewer right through there. So I'm going to put tape along the head right up to the base.
Use like some tape on the head.
Did you guys put some tape on yours too? And then I'm going to pinch that together and that's going to help hold my pencil or my skewer or whatever, or my chopstick, whatever you're working with in there. And then this is kind of fun actually. If you wanted to cut this into different shapes, we could like cut this into the shape of like an ear. You could make this into like a monkey puppet with some like monkey ears. It would also kind of look like my cousin Michael, who has big ears. Depends who you're trying to make your puppet look like. All right, so you can also, I'll put that variation on there. If your skewer or your pencil is spinning, if the head is spinning around it, you can also put some tape on the side and make that into a really funky little ear as well. There we go. So if I know this was the back of the head, but now's the time when you can decorate it. So let's go around and show us what you made. I want to spotlight some more people. Who's got one up? Let's go over to Garrett. Yeah, let's take a look at that, Garrett. Will you show it off? Show us how it works? Yeah.
Whoa.
That's great. So can you spin that? Yeah, up and down. That looks great. And then can it turn its head side to side too on your water bottle?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So you guys used a Pop-Tarts box and a Belvita cookie box. And instead of a tube, you guys used a water bottle and then used a pencil. So now, while we're showing off other people's, you can decorate it. Draw a face on it. You might use some of those extra cardboard scraps that you had and maybe turn those upside down and you can make some eyes out of that. That's what I made my eyes out of here. That's some leftover tea box right there. So who else? Who wants to show theirs off? Let's go to Sigrid. Let's see what you made. Oh, yeah. Get it, Sigrid? Oh my gosh. So your head can go up and down, yep, and turn back and forth. Oh my gosh, I love that you drew some glasses on it too. Is it modeled off of anybody you know, or is it just a made-up thing?
It's just a made-up
A
thing.
made-up person. I would love it if anybody's characters had a name. I don't know. I think I decided mine's name is Charlotte. Charlotte likes to wear bow ties. She's a fancy gal. She's a bow tie wearing bot. But I wonder if anybody else's puppets have names. I don't know. Do you guys want to show out yours off, Lorenzo and Antonio? Let's go to you guys.
Nope.
You don't want to? Let me see. Oh, that looks great. Show me. Yeah, you want to hold it up? Yep. And then the pencil spinning in it. You'll need to. You can, yeah, turn it back and forth. That's great. Yeah. So hold it up just a little bit higher for me. Let me see what the bottom looks like. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All the way to the bottom. Yeah, so if you want the neck to be up that high, it can be, but it looks like it can come out the bottom too. See how mine like sticks out the bottom like this? So you can have a nice tall neck, or you can shrink it down and have a shorter neck too. So it's like yours is kind of all the way up here. You can also have it be a little shorter too. That looks wonderful though, you guys. Oh, here, I'll show you again. So it can like stick out the bottom. or it can, Matt and I decided that this was the ET function. How like ET, he can like look around and look up and down, but he can also go like, if you guys have ever seen ET. So he can go like, So, pretty fun. Who else has one they want to show off? Yeah, let's take a look at yours, Regina. Looks like it has a face. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Regina's has some little eyelashes. It's got a little face. This is so great. Oh my gosh. So what was the box that you used on the top?
I just had a white, luckily it was white, cardboard box.
Nice.
Smaller than the Amazon.
And then a nice Amazon box on the bottom. I bet we all have some of those right now.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. How about, can we go to Becky? Want to show yours off, Becky? Yeah!
Googly eyes.
Becky had some googly eyes. That is awesome. So can you show us it looking up and down and back and forth? Yep, yeah. I love how those googly eyes move when you move it up and down. That's so funny. They're just like. So your boxes are like this nice sort of blank canvas. Did you cover them in some other kind of paper or something? You're muted though. You have to unmute.
No, actually, little fairy garden things had come inside of them, and I was just scrounging around and left out. So
those are like perfect sizes. So
yeah.
I want your puppet, but I also want some fairy gardens now. So Jonesing for all kinds of things. This is great. Well, you guys, let's just do our sign language, or actually, if everybody wants to unmute themselves, let's give ourselves a round of applause so we can all hear each other. That was some great making, everybody. Nice job. That was wonderful. Well, now we can take this same basic design, and if you want to kind of kick it up a notch, we can turn that into a robot. So let me clear my workspace a little bit. Now comes the robotics part. And comes the remote coding part too. So I'm going to grab something from back here. Okay. So, here we go. We have these awesome plugs that come through the wall. So I had to unplug it from the wall. Scooch him over. And I'll grab a battery pack. So before I plug it in though, I want to investigate. I'm going to clean up my workspace a little bit. But I want to investigate how this little bot is made. Let's take a look. Scooch things off to the side. I made quite a mess, which is kind of my favorite thing to make besides robots, is a mess. Okay, so here is our robotic little bot, like so. So if I kind of look inside here, you can see that there are two black things. Now those are motors. I think, is the one glued down, Matt? Yeah, it's glued down.
They are. I'm going to get you one that you can.
Oh, okay, Matt's got one I can take apart a little bit more. So this one, same basic idea, two boxes. It has a head that can move back and forth and up and down. So we might call that, thank you. We might call that being able to move on like an X and a Y axis. If you're used to doing that. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I want to be able to take the head off for a minute and see how it's made. Thank you. There we go. All right, so if I take that apart, there we go. Now we can look inside. It's got a motor that can move back and forth, and then a motor that it's glued onto up here that can look up and down like that. So if we cut a little hole in the body there, or Matt did, and you can just insert that right there. And there's actually a really great tutorial for how to make a little bot on our website. So I'm going to let Matt go to our website, and he's going to drop that in the chat link for or we can go there right now, actually. We can do that together. Okay. So I'm going to go over to this screen here so you guys can see if we go to this Creative Robotics at Home page, we can see things there. But we could also search for Little Bot in here, and that will find the very top thing is on our build page. There's this really cool tutorial that teaches you how to make this little bot here. And even on the bottom here, there's some like build variations. So you can see how to do it out of like cardboard boxes and whatever you have at home. So this is a step-by-step process that'll show you exactly how to put the motors in, exactly how to glue everything on. So if you wanted to get a Hummingbird Robotics Kit to have at home, or if you're a teacher who has these at school, or if you're a kid who has these at school and you want to make a little robot like this, you can do that really easily. We have a tutorial for you there. So now that we've investigated this guy just a little bit. Let's figure out how to program this one, because there's a way that we can do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in our, there we go. I'm going to plug in this, and I'm going to turn it on. And then what I'm going to do, now I have a question for you guys, and you can either unmute yourselves and answer me, or you can type it in the chat window. Did you guys receive another email today with some different links and stuff in it? Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
Great. So if you didn't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some links in the chat window. And so what you're going to need to do, and this part can be just a little bit tricky, is I'm going to drop a link in the chat window that's just going to go to everybody. Only one person will be able to control the robot at a time. But this may show up as a hyperlink, it may not, but you need to open that link in Chrome as your browser. So don't use Internet Explorer, don't use Safari, you got to use Chrome. But looks like I've got like a graveyard of LBs over here. This is scary. Okay. But
Which
you guys,
link are we using?
just use the very first one for now. The very first one. It's the one that says like client_v1. So if you open that link up, I'm going to open it on my screen so that you can see. I can kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So if I go here, you should have a screen that looks something like this. And the trick here is to do basically what I'm doing on your computer screen. It's to you got to resize your zoom window a little bit so that you can see me, because that's how you're going to see LB here. I'll put him right in front of me so you can see him. There we go. So resize your zoom window so that you can see me, and also so that you can see the code, because you got to have those up side by side. So what we did, and I'll say we because it's been a team effort, but Tom Lowers, Dr. Tom Lowers, who is the CEO of BirdBrain, figured out how to do remote coding so that you guys at home can do coding on your computers, and it can control our robots here in the studio, which is just so exciting. When he figured it out just about a week and a half ago, maybe a little bit less, we all just were freaking out because it was so exciting, because we saw that this could be used to teach like this. But it is still really new, and we're really new to doing it. So if there are any like kinks to work out, just if you can be kind of patient and persistent with us, that would be much appreciated. Okay, so you've got maybe you've got that link up and you've got Zoom up. Who would like to try it first? Raise your hand, like I showed you. Who'd like to try it first? How about Lorenzo and Antonio? Do you guys want to unmute yourselves? You guys want to try it first?
Okay.
Yeah? Okay, all right. So do you guys have your windows situated so that you can see me and you can see your code like I have on the screen here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great, okay. So on this little window, I want you to look at your keyboard and look at the C key and hit C.
Let's see.
Yeah. Do I have the right microbit in here, Matt?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, they're connected.
Oh, it looks like you guys are connected, which is great. So what you guys should do is now use your arrow keys, and that should control this little robot's head. Hit the up arrow and the down arrow and see what happens. Well, somebody's connected. We're not sure who is, but it might. Oh, on your screen where this little arrow thing is right here, does it say connected on there, Kelly and Lorenzo and Antonio? Right where this little black arrow is, does it say connected on there? Oh, I saw it move. I saw it move. Are you guys doing that?
I hit space, the right arrow, and left arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Keep hitting those keys. You are controlling. Yeah, you're doing this live.
Let me do it. Let me do it.
Oh, do it, Lorenzo. I'm so excited. This is great.
You see a sudden
No.
space,
There you go, space.
and then right arrow key,
What is the right arrow? Ooh, right arrow key moved it a little bit.
So space
left
makes
arrow
it go
key.
So the right and the left. Yep, turned its head. There we go, turned its head. Down, up, and then space makes it go straight. Yeah, so that's straight on. Good job. You hit the space key. Now let me tell you, you hit a button, I'll watch it move, and I'll tell you which button you hit.
Go ahead.
Why is it not working?
Oh, you hit the right arrow key, right?
Yeah.
What else? Hit another one. You hit the left arrow key.
Mama, I need to do it.
Yeah, you get to do it. That's right. You hit the down arrow key.
Yeah.
And you hit the up arrow key.
Yeah.
There you go. I can see exactly what you're coding because the robot is doing exactly what we coded it to do. That is awesome. Can we all give a round of applause for Lorenzo? That is amazing. That is some really good coding and puppeting, Lorenzo. Can we give somebody else a try?
Yeah.
That's great. I'm so excited for you. You did awesome, little friend. That's great. So we're going to disconnect you, okay, Lorenzo? Who wants to try it next? You can raise your hand.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Hannah.
You guys did great. Who wants to try it next? You want to try it, Sigrid? All right. I'm going to send another code now, okay? This one is a different file. So I'm going to send a different client file. There we go. Copy link. And I'm going to send this one to everybody. Everybody can open it if you want. But I'm going to have Sigrid be the one to open it. Now, Sigrid, I'm going to unmute you, okay? So we can hear you. Actually, you have to unmute yourself. My bad. There we go. Got it. So, Sigrid, do you have your windows arranged so that you can see your Zoom screen on one part and your, like, coding screen on another part?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, to connect to it, you'll hit C on your keyboard. Did you do that?
Yeah, once.
Or I guess first, you have to be able to open it, yeah. That link may show up as a hyperlink. On some people's Zoom, it shows up as a hyperlink. On some people's Zoom, it just shows up as a big, long HTTPS thing. So you might have to copy and paste it into Chrome. And I know we got it working for you yesterday.
Doesn't
Or
want to connect.
it's not wanting to connect for you?
Yeah.
Let's
But
see.
I'm in Chrome.
But you're in Chrome. You got it all up. Matt's going to try to connect again. Hit C to connect.
Nope.
Nope, it's not connecting.
Make sure her screen looks like yours.
Does your screen look like it? You mean with the blocks?
on it.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a moment to load.
Does Sigrid, when you are looking at your screen, does it look like mine? Does it have this when space key pressed? Does it have all those blocks and stuff in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so it does have that, but when you're hitting C, it's not wanting to connect.
I'll just reload.
Okay, yeah, try to shut it down and reload it. This is the kind of persistence and patience that I'm talking about. This is great.
It could be that her Zoom screen was active.
I'll make sure that that's, yeah. All right, so did you reload it?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay, you're good. We got really fast internet just for this purpose, but we realized that not everybody has super fast internet. We got that. So this signal is bouncing from where you are all the way up to a satellite and then back down here, which is pretty freaking amazing. Just saying. That's really cool.
And because we know Sigrid, we know
Yeah.
she's coming from pretty far away.
Yeah, because we know Sigrid, we know that she's coming from pretty far away. But when we get her connected, she'll still be programming live.
There.
Yeah? Are you connected?
Robot being used by someone else, it says.
Should not be. Go ahead and hit that space bar. Just see.
Hit the space bar just to see what happens. Huh? No.
Drag. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it and then
Yeah.
restart it.
Matt's gonna like stop. So what he's doing is he's running what's called a server file from his side, and you've got what's called the client file on your side. So he has to be here on his computer running it. But we're running it via Bluetooth too. So he's got to have his file up and going and active, and you've got to have your file up and going and active. And when both of those are going, they're talking via satellite to each other. I imagine 2 tin cans. Have you ever made a tin can phone before? I imagine 2. Oh, you haven't? It's a good time. Plastic solo cups work too. Is it up? Okay. So try pressing C again, Sigrid.
There.
Yeah, does it say connected?
Alright.
Yep.
All right, hit spacebar. Let's see what happens.
There it is.
There we go. It's making a little, it's nodding its head. That's the little code that we built there. So if I go over to this code here, you can see the code that Sigrid is running. It starts at 90 degrees and it goes to 105 and 85. And so position servo 1 controls the way that its head is facing this way, right? And position servo 2
Yep.
controls the,
X-axis.
yeah. Position servo 2 controls the up and the down. So Sigrid, why don't you try to adjust that code? See where it says position servo 1 at 90 degrees? Make it say something else other than 90 degrees in there, and then we'll see what that does to the head. Change that number in there. And then hit spacebar again, and let's see what it does. Oh, now it's got this little over-the-shoulder business. This is, Hey, do you like being programmed remotely, little bot? Yes I do. Sigrid's doing such a good job. That's what this little bot's saying. That's great. So what number did you put in there instead of 90 degrees?
180.
180. So we did something sneaky on the back end, and we made it so that you couldn't go beyond a certain point on either way, because the little bot, it can't go all the way to 180 degrees and it can't go all the way to 0. Do you know what happens if you put the up and down one, especially if you put it all the way up at 180 degrees? Does anyone have a prediction what will happen to the little bot's head?
It'll just stop.
It won't stop, it'll pop off. So we, in the hidden code that you can't see, we limited it so that nobody could break the robot, basically, to do that. Hey, let's give a round of applause for Sigrid. Yeah, very nice. All right, so I'm going to send one more client file. We have one other link for people to try. Who wants to be the next person? I'll send it in the chat here. Who wants to be the next person to try? I think the only other kiddo here is Garrett, but he may have wandered off. But I think the other people we have are grown-ups. Would any of the grown-ups like to try? Regina or Becky or Aaron? You want to try it, Regina? Okay, open up that file. Remember, open it up in Chrome, and then arrange your screens so that you can see Zoom and that you can also see it's called NetsBlocks is the software, application, program, language.
Programming language.
Is the programming language we're using. See all those words I just ran through? I know so many words, but sometimes only one of them is actually right. Do you guys have to go, Lorenzo and Antonio? Or do you guys have a question? You can unmute yourselves, either if you have to go or if you have a question. So I'd love to say, what a great job you did. Lorenzo and Antonio. You guys did great. I loved your making. I loved your coding. I loved your spirit. I thought you guys were great. Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Antonio.
Bye, Lorenzo. Bye, Antonio. All right, so Regina, were you able to get that code up so that it looks like...
Looks like we're connected.
And it looks like you're connected, actually. All right. So with that code, it's got a few different things you can do to it, a few different buttons you can hit to initiate it. Actually, it's just the space bar. So hit the space bar and let's see what happens. Oh, hey. So what we did with this code, the code that we're running right now, is we made it random. We had set the Hummingbird position servo to pick a random number between 40 and 140 for the position servo 1, which goes back and forth, and to pick a random number between 85 and 105 for that top down, because that's as high as it can go and as low as it can go. And we're also having it wait a random number of seconds between 5 seconds and 2 seconds. So you can change stuff in there if you want, Regina. So why don't we change the wait time? So if you take that green block out like this, you can put another number in there.
I can't see the code. It's blocked. I can only see part of the code. It's
Oh.
blocked by like a
Might be
block.
blocked by the window. See these two little lines up here? You can use that to make this window bigger or smaller. Does that help? If you make that white window where the little black arrow is, if you make that smaller, does that help?
I have to go. I just
Oh.
wanted to say thank you very much. I've got a meeting at 2 here.
All right. Thank you so much, Becky. A round of applause for your puppet that you made. Yes, Greg is doing a round of applause. Greg's the sport. Tell us what you're seeing, Regina.
I only see like where your code is here. I can only see like the tail end of that code. Is a black box.
You might try these. Does this scroll bar down at the bottom here? Does that help out at all? Does that
And
help?
I don't see, like you have 3 panels. You've got the code on the left side. I
Yeah.
don't have the code on the left side.
That's interesting. But it's still running the code here, which is weird. Huh. I haven't heard that weird glitchy thing before.
And
But-
that happened to the other 2 links that I went to before. The same thing. I
Okay.
could see part of it, not all of it.
And you're using Chrome.
Chrome.
Okay. And we haven't encountered that one before. It's running the code, you just can't see it. You said there's a big black box covering it, kind of?
Yeah, I wish I could show you.
Yeah. We made it so no one could share their screen just in case. It's a good Zoom feature to have if anyone's looking for a way to keep your Zoom meeting secure. Well, if you don't mind, Regina, what I'll do is I'm just going to kind of finish up with a couple announcements. If you can keep running this code, though, you will know that Regina, however far away she is controlling this code from that far away, which is really cool. Would it be possible, Regina, could you take a screenshot and email it to us? Just like take a screenshot of what you're doing and email it to us, because I'd love to just see what you're seeing so we could try to troubleshoot it. So a couple closing things for everybody who's here and everybody who's tuning in on Facebook as well. We've got a couple things to share with you. First of all, I am so proud of everything that everybody made today. I loved your puppets. They were beautiful. And if you were tuning in on Facebook and you didn't get a chance to show us yours, then you can share it with us on social media. So Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, you can tag BirdBrain Tech. You can tag hashtag Hummingbird Kit. And specifically for this project, you can also tag hashtag Littlebot, especially if you, like I said, if you weren't in our Zoom meeting, but you want to show everybody what you made, use that hashtag and tag us, because we'll retweet you, boo. We will elevate what you're doing and what you're making. All right, so tag those people. You can also tag me if you want to. I'm only on Twitter, so I put it in blue here. But I'm at Kelsey Connects on Twitter, so you can tag me if you want. But definitely tag BirdBrain. So also, if you have any questions about anything troubleshooting related, or if you have an idea for what we should do for another webinar, you can let us know. You can email info@birdbraintechnologies.com. And finally, we talked a little bit about this page, but make sure that if you haven't, that you go to, I'll go to this one so you can still see me, that you go to birdbraintechnologies.com, and when you get there to our basic website, that you go to the At Home button. So if I go up here, there's a purple button that says At Home. It'll most likely, for most people, look like this. It'll be a purple At Home button there. So you can hit At Home, and that shows you all kinds of things. So it shows you where you can get a hummingbird. If you want to make a Littlebot and program a Littlebot, whether you've got a Chromebook or a laptop or a tablet or an iPad or even just your smartphone, you can program a Hummingbird Robotics Kit. So there's a place to purchase one. If you're within the United States, that'll get to you within just a few days. All of our warehouses and everything are operational, so that'll get to you really quick. Or if you're a little farther away, it still gets to you really fast. And then you can also learn exactly how to plug everything in, connect everything, and program all the motors and the lights and the sensors in the kit. You can learn that for either a tablet or a computer. We've got some great projects on here that we do webinars based on some of these projects. So we've done a tiny drummer webinar, we've done a robot petting zoo, we've done a moving masterpieces, we're gonna do, we did a rovers one, but these are great little video series made by the team at BirdBrain, including, including yours truly. There really only needs to be one of me in any given Zoom meeting, so that's pretty disturbing. But basically we take you through step by step kind of how to build things, how to program things, etc. So that's on there. And then I definitely want to point out, I think this is the best part, if I go back a couple, is the upcoming live webinars. Oh, it opened in a new tab. The upcoming live webinars. So you can see there's one today about Littlebots. We're doing another moving masterpieces one on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're actually changing our Friday ones up a little bit. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to be building, we're going to be doing remote coding together. That's our Tuesday, Thursday at 2 o'clock every week. Fridays are going to be geared a little bit more towards teachers, where we're going to be talking about what is the value of teaching something like the Littlebot? How would you use a project like this in your school? How could you do it unplugged like we just did? How could you do it plugged into a Hummingbird? So we're going to talk about like how to teach Littlebot and the different situations that might be useful. Same thing for moving masterpieces, same thing for robot petting zoo. So Fridays are going to kind of be like our teacher sort of like our teacher sessions where we talk about how to teach with this thing. So whether you're a teacher who has hummingbirds and maybe they're locked in your school and you can't get access to them at the moment, but you want to plan ahead, or if you're a teacher who doesn't have them yet but thinks they might be great for your computer science class or your after school program or even your English class, we can kind of go over the teaching of it then. So those will be closed meetings. But remember, if you want to join in the Zoom meeting and get the full experience here, you have to register because we only send those Zoom links out to the people who have registered just to keep these nice and secure. So how about for our Zoom participants today? Does anybody else have any questions about anything or anything you want to chat about? Yeah, Aaron. Oh, yeah, make sure to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, I want to unmute myself.
Hi, Greg.
So I thought it was really cool doing that remotely, and I know that's a new thing. I currently am supposed to be teaching a class of this,
Yeah.
and I'm wondering, is this something that can be replicated or that I can talk to somebody about how I could try and do this? I have a really small class that
Yeah.
they don't have access to these things, but I could potentially get access to one of them.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this could really change it. What I'm doing right now, I'm flying off the seat of my pants trying to come up with activities.
Such are we all. May our pants have wings. Yes, the answer to all of that is yes. You can do exactly what we did today for your students. And Tom actually just posted a Google Doc with instructions about how to do that.
Actually, a page.
Oh, a page.
BirdBrain Technologies /remote robots.
So it's the same thing here, birdbraintechnologies.com/ instead of robotics at home, it's remote robots.
Oh, awesome.
So that page there tells you exactly how to set up this system. It's all built.
10 minutes ago.
It was just not even 10 minutes ago. So that's like that was a
I've been looking like all week, man.
No, I don't have a little cardboard doohickey for it because it's so brand new. That was a perfect question though, Aaron. Yes, if you are a teacher, if you have even one hummingbird at your house, and if you're trying to teach remotely, you can do this. And we just posted birdbraintechnologies.com/ remote robots.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Just like that. Regina's like, I got my hummingbird. I'm ready. Yeah, get it, Regina. That's great.
On the way out the door from school. So.
Oh, yeah. It's and so many teachers are just like they kind of like grabbed whatever they could fit in a box and like left with it, you know. And then I know some teachers are like, well, next Friday they said we can get back in and figure out. So this would be a great thing for you to try and kind of plan out this week. Tune in to more of these sessions to kind of see how this works. We're working out the kinks too, so if you try it and learn something, please tell us. We are all learning this together, so you can email anything you find out to info@birdbraintechnologies.com. And honestly, Aaron, on our Friday session, those Friday sessions would be great for anybody who wants to learn how to do this as well. I think this Friday, it'll really depend on who shows up, what exactly we talk about. Those may or may not be broadcast to Facebook. I'm not sure yet. Those may just be whoever's in the Zoom meeting. We may do like we did here and broadcast them. We have to work that out. But yeah, the short answer is yes. The long answer is everything else I said because I can't give short answers.
Awesome. Great.
I'm so excited for you, Aaron. This is great. This is great. Did you have any other questions, Regina or Aaron?
What's the best way, because I know you said they're glued in and they're obviously have to be reusable. So what do you recommend for hooking up
making your Littlebot into a thing? So if you've got some hot glue, it's totally okay to hot glue right onto the motors because when you're done, it peels off. The only reason I didn't want to take this one apart is because I knew we were going to coat it right away. But like, do you mind if I take this one apart, Matt, and we can put it back together? Okay, so if I look at this one, if I take that motor out of here, this is just dirt. There we go. So that's done without glue, but this is hot glued right in there. So if I pop this guy off here.
And I screwed those servo hard.
Oh, so they don't pop off, I see.
Yeah.
So Matt made this a little extra, which is good. But
I might grab you another robot then.
here we go. But generally speaking, we have a high heat hot glue gun here in our studio. But if you have just one of those little, like, you know, craft store hot glue guns, that hot glue just peels right off of these things. Especially if, you know, if you're going to put any hot glue around this part of the motor, if you wrap it in masking tape, that comes off. It's really secure while you're gluing it, while you're using it, and then you can peel the masking tape off when you're done. But those servo horns, generally speaking, the hot glue just comes right off of them. And if some hot glue stays on it, that's okay. You're just gonna hot glue it again next week, you know. But it peels right off for the most part. But like I said, we have a high heat hot glue gun here, so I'm struggling to take this one apart. He like screwed it together. He made it Kelsey proof, which is yeah. But yeah, you can hot glue right. Oh look, I put him together wrong, and now he's like, hello.
That's why you can't take apart the robot.
This is why we can't have nice things, because Kelsey insists on taking them apart. Okay. There we go. But yeah, that was a really good question though, Regina. Yeah. I bet other people are wondering that as well. All right. Anything else? Okay. Well, we've actually got to head out, but it was really wonderful to have this time together. You guys made wonderful things. A round of applause for ourselves. Yeah. Very nice. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and hopefully I'll see you on Thursday as well.
Thank you, Kelsey.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us today. We can't wait to see what you make on social media. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you can tag @BirdBrainTech or #HummingbirdKit, or you can even tag me. If you have any questions, be sure to email us, info@birdbraintechnologies.com. We can answer questions about purchasing, about learning, about teaching, and about professional development. If you haven't been there yet, be sure to visit our Robotics at Home page. There you can purchase a kit for yourself, learn how to use it, and even join one of our upcoming webinars. Until we see you in class, thanks for watching from everyone at BirdBrain Technologies.